In 2005, McCord made yet another startling advancement, which was the subject of the ABC Primetime Expose. He demonstrated that a combination of well-known medicinal herbal extracts, now known as Protandim, returned the oxidation levels of every single subject tested, regardless of age, to the level of that of a 20-year-old within a matter of weeks. Now, I know that many of you might not understand the profound implications of this finding for science and medicine, so I'd like to explain. Every moment you breathe, you supply the interior of your 15 trillion cells with oxygen. That oxygen is used in your cellular furnaces to extract useful energy from food. You oxidize your food. While the process of oxidation of your food in your cellular furnaces is very efficient, it's not perfect. About 10% of the oxygen we breathe is discharged within each cell as the damaging hydrogen peroxide-like molecules I spoke about. Building on McCord's work, scientists now know that as we age, our cellular furnaces become less efficient, discharging more and more oxidants into our cells with every year we live. Now, under ideal circumstances, the cell would respond by signaling its DNA to produce more of the antioxidant network enzymes. Unfortunately, we now know that this is not the case. We are literally oxidizing to death as we age. The story behind Protandim is absolutely fascinating to me. In 1994, scientists discovered the NRF2 system. The NRF2 system is called the master regulator of the cellular survival genes. NRF2 turns on the production of antioxidant enzymes by signaling your DNA that a threat like oxidation is increasing, just what happens as we age. Protandim activates NRF2. It turns on NRF2, which turns on your DNA, which turns on your defensive network. That's precisely what Protandim does, and it's very exciting because that's why Protandim is different than the standard antioxidants. Not only that, Protandim is the most powerful NRF2 activator ever tested by science. In fact, it is the only known synergistic NRF2 activator ever studied. Scientists have proven that the NRF2 signaling system also degrades with age, becoming progressively less efficient, just like a computer hard drive accumulates errors over time, So it's interesting because Protandim actually reverses the age-related degradation in the NRF2 system. So we have scientific proof that cellular oxidation increases as we age, and this damages us. And at the same time, our defenses degrade. And we have proof that Protandim reverses both things. This is why Protandim has such an immense market, simply because you and I and everyone around you are sandwiched between just age-related increased production of damaging oxidative molecules and a progressive loss of your ability to defend yourself. The result of this constant and increasing bombardment is felt by science to be disease, aging, and death. Over 200 conditions and diseases, to include cancer, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, multiple sclerosis, high blood pressure, diabetes, heart attacks, strokes, and virtually every other degenerative disease of aging have been associated with this sandwich effect. We now know this as oxidative stress. So really cool. In 2011, McCord published additional research. Here he demonstrates that Protandim normalizes this age-related NRF2 dysfunction that we all face. In fact, Protandim activates hundreds of genes in addition to those related to the antioxidant enzyme network. Protandim turns on genes that are known to have positive effects against colon cancer, Alzheimer's disease, and heart attacks. This is in addition to his research in 2005 that showed Protandim reverses oxidative stress. So this is stunning research, guys. This shows that Protandim is a game changer. So let's talk briefly about the game. It's the game of life and death. It has been played in every cell and every animal since the beginning of life on Earth. And the prize for you is your health and longevity. With Protandim, we have a powerful tool to influence the outcome of this. So let me use an analogy to help you see this more clearly. Imagine that each of your 15 trillion cells is actually a baseball stadium where this game of life and death is played. Think of your cellular furnaces as batters at the plate hitting a trillion million oxidative baseball molecules into each of your cellular stadiums every second. That's what's happening to you right now as you breathe. All those baseballs are the damaging hydrogen peroxide-like molecules I've spoken about. They slam into every structure in your cellular stadium, damaging everything in sight. Some batters in some stadiums hit actual oxidant home runs, smacking directly into your DNA, damaging it, mutating it, and possibly turning that entire stadium into a life-threatening cancer cell. You really need to understand this. Just one single ball of all those gazillion balls being produced strikes your DNA in a sweet spot, and you could die of cancer. Now, interestingly, Protandim is the only available agent that has been shown to significantly reduce those damaging hits. So you can draw your own conclusions. Now, each year, each season of your life, more oxidant batters step up to the plate, less enzyme catchers take the field. NRF2 is like the team manager, but every year he grows more tired and inefficient. Protandim reverses this. Now, you, the owner of the team, like millions of Americans, might have heard about oxidation, and maybe you've decided the best way to win this game is to take the regular antioxidants like vitamin C and vitamin E. I mean, after all, antioxidants are a multi-billion-dollar industry in the United States. Millions take them not knowing that there's a better way with Protandim. And this false sense of security is tragic. I see these diseases every day. You could literally flood the outfield with the standard antioxidant and only catch a minority of those damaging balls. You'd literally have to take a virtual truckload of standard antioxidants to do what a single Protandim pill does. A single vitamin C or vitamin E molecule can only catch a single ball, as Stu had talked about, and then they are immediately destroyed. For every other antioxidant on the market, it's a one-and-done proposition. The enzymes that Protandim produces catch 1 million balls each second, and they are not destroyed in the process. They last months. How many vitamin C or E players would you have to catch 1 trillion million balls produced in each second in each of your 15 trillion cells? I mean, here we just need to do the math. Believing the standard antioxidants will work better has always been a dead end. This is what we can now call the antioxidant myth, and Protandim directly addresses this. The obvious solution is to increase the number of natural antioxidant enzymes, just like your cell would, by activating NRF2 through your DNA with Protandim. So that's a lot of information, and I said it in a very quick way. So let's all just take a nice deep breath at this point. Just remember that as you breathe, 10% of the oxygen you are breathing is actually damaging your cells. So if you plan on continuing breathing, consider taking Protandim, for God's sakes. Your natural antioxidant defensive network will thank you for it. It has been tested in the evolutionary laboratory of life for 1 billion years, so why not return it to its youthful exuberance? That's why I take Protandim and why I recommend it as a doctor to my patients. Protandim is unique. Listen carefully. It's not a supplement. It's not a traditional antioxidant. It is an NRF2 activator that has profound antioxidant properties. Now, Stu had mentioned that Protandim is being actively researched in at least 30 academic centers worldwide. This is a phenomenon absolutely unheard of for an herbal agent in the Western scientific world. I've never seen anything like it. He talked about the 14 peer-reviewed studies that have been published so far, but you would be stunned to hear what it's doing for people. And I suspect the best news about Protandim is yet to come, so stay tuned. This is very exciting technology. It's the technology of the cell itself. So, what could you say about the science behind Protandim to someone who's interested? A simpler analogy than the one I presented here tonight will do just fine. You could simply say this: oxidative stress is like each of our houses being on fire. Taking Protandim turns on the natural sprinkler system in every room, in every cell, in every body, every time. Taking a standard antioxidant from anywhere else is like tossing a cup of water on a house fire. It just doesn't work that well. You definitely do not have to be a doctor or science to understand this, guys. You should share this with others. For most of us, the ABC primetime video is all that we will need to understand what's going on. Now, others may want to listen to this as this is being recorded so that they can gain some further insight into the science behind the NRF2 activator known as Protandim. And I'd like to thank you for your time. I wish you guys all health and longevity. And back to you, Stu.
Awesome, Dr. Bill Schroeder. Unbelievable. That was really, really great. I really, really appreciate you taking the time and sharing your knowledge with everybody. Molecular biologist, MD in Colorado. Boy, what a blessing.